today. A couple weeks ago, we spoke with Glynis McClure about Nebraska Strong Financial Services. Well, this week, we connected with Extension educator Jessica Groskopf to talk about the other side of Nebraska Strong and how to stay connected socially while being separated physically.
As some states around the nation begin to ease restrictions, many areas are still under lockdown. And as we enter another week of social distancing, the changes in day-to-day operations for farmers is becoming more apparent.
So there's lots of changes happening, for everyone. The act of physical distancing for most farmers and ranchers isn't a problem, right? We see online all the time, I'm going to be social distancing like I do every spring, but there's still changes in that workplace. So like you said, the parts store, where they can no longer go in to the parts counter, they have to call in the part number and pick up that product outside. Or they need to work with thinking through their employees, maybe even implementing a PPE program within their farm or ranch. Those are changes that until this time we hadn't really thought about.
Jessica says it's important to keep an eye on your friends, neighbors, and self and recognize the signs of extra stress. There's
usually some sort of withdrawal and also a lack of communication. So if you see somebody kind of pulling away or you feel yourself pulling away, that's really one of the first signs of stress that we see come forward. I think that it's really important that we're able to pick up the phone and call one another. Even if the internet's not great, those telephones still do work and they work both ways. So if you're feeling yourself stress, making sure that you have somebody that you're talking to, or if you see somebody withdrawing, that, you pick up the phone and you have that conversation with them. And it doesn't have to be, hey, I see you're stressed. It can be, how are you doing? How can I help you? I know it's hard sometimes, as Nebraskans, we don't always like to ask for help. And so sometimes offering that help is a way to help them through that stressful situation.
If you're unsure how to help or don't know who to talk to, there are many resources readily available.
Being Nebraska Strong is about also taking care of that mental health and wellness. So we have ruralwellness.unl.edu, which is a website that has lots of resources related to coping with stress. And then also we really encourage folks, if you need help, whether it's from a financial or a legal perspective, or especially from a mental health perspective, that you reach out to the Rural Response Hotline, and that's 1-800-464-0258. And they offer counseling vouchers as well as their regular financial and legal advice.
Communities across the state are finding ways to keep spirits up and relieve stress in safe but fun ways.
I think that communities are becoming more creative in how they're creating social distancing activities. Here in the Scottsbluff area, we've seen pop-up drive-through movie theaters. We've seen cruise nights, and think about those for farms and ranches as well. How can we continue to connect with one another and really make that effort that even though we have to be physically distanced from one another, that we're still socially connected with each other.
And if there's one thing the Cornhusker State is good at, it's staying Nebraska strong. Reporting for Market Journal, I'm Maddie McIntosh.